Okay, hello. It's the preamble. It's the bit of the show where we say clearly and distinctly that we are aware we are being surveilled, that we do not like it, that we did not ask for it, that if anyone is making money off of it, it absolutely isn't us. We're aware that people are making money off of it, or at least making money off the fact that they know about it and aren't doing anything. Um, and good for them, I guess. We want it to stop. I'm too tired right now to make it into a whole thing. Um, I am just going to again entreat, hey, if you can hand us a little bit of hard evidence of why people who shouldn't know anything about our business know way too much about our business, we can be reached at joyandsolace@gmail.com. Or on Discord at Joyous Amalgamation, or on the Fediverse at Eternal September at thick.horse. Or I guess on our Twitch and YouTube channels. I'm just gonna hit the music and we'll get into the game. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those who do not feel represented by an oppressive gender binary, hello and welcome. I'm September Tech. You're whoever the hell you are, for better or for worse. It baffles me why people don't choose to be better. We're going to play some more Citizen Sleeper, which is a good video game. Listen, you know me. Or you don't know me, but pretend to, and also what I think and how I will react in any situation. But I know which video games are good, and this video game is a very good video game. I'm a little punchy. Maybe you fucking noticed. Um, we went out on a job interview, and I don't expect to get a call back from that job interview. For a variety of reasons. But it's just the legs and the arms, the body is tired. Woke up directly from a nap to do this. Fortunately, I have a battery in front of me. This is what I call energy drinks, is battery. Specifically these ones, the ones that taste like green. Well, yeah. It's pleasantly acidic. Anyway, Citizen Sleeper. Let's talk about our content warnings before we jump into it. Citizen Sleeper is a game about being person without legal personhood on a space station, along with a certain degree of systemic abuse. Poverty, classism, the whole 9 yards. There is some violence, but it is handled in not particularly gorily descripted text. Some characters can die, but I am trying to make that not happen as much as possible. I think that's all the content warnings I need to give for Citizen Sleeper. For myself, I am a strange person who occasionally makes weird sex jokes or speaks frankly about my trauma. And if that's not your vibe, that's okay. If you find that's something you're comfortable hanging around, I'm glad to have you here. If you're here specifically to mock that, fuck off. Go fuck all the way off. Go fuck off back to fuck Offsburg, the city where everybody fucks off all the time. I'm just sort of riffing now while I wait for Citizen Sleeper to open. I have another very good video game lined up for the stream after this, which I'm excited to get to. We are going to get through this first. It's going to continue down here. So where were we at last time? We talked to Navigator, put them in a ship mind, and helped them disable Hunter and Killer, the AIs on the station that had killed the rest of the AIs on the station. And we got let's look at our data. We got a Greenway cipher, which is going to open the cyberspace area here in the Greenway, which, as you'll notice, is dark and foreboding otherwise. We had been working in the shipyard to build a sort of generational ship out to an uninhabited planet, with the expectation that we had a shot of getting a ticket onto that with our work buddy Lem and his daughter Mina. And then we got fucked over for that. And everyone's pretty mad about it. We're trying to find a way to get Lem back onto that ship. Our doctor Sabine, having gotten a bunch of data which they believe they could leverage to get them out of their sort of mob contract, has apparently fucked off. We don't know what happened to them. But their former mob handler has come to us saying, hey, you want a job? And I'm really iffy about that. Let's look at our tracker. What other threads are we pulling at? Oh, we met Rico, the mushroom genealogist? Not genealogist. Mycologist? Yeah, sure. Who is wanting to study the way mushrooms grow in the Greenway. We're helping her with that. Ethan, the bounty hunter who came after us, has stopped coming after us, largely because he's not being paid to anymore, which is sort of a relief, except for the fact that the reason he's not being paid to anymore is because they are in fact paying someone meaner to. So we'll deal with that when we deal with it. And I think that's everything we have going. Oh no, Feng. Our hacker buddy Feng is still underground, having exposed a high-ranking corporate executive as actually being from a different corporation and therefore being like untrustworthy. You can't trust any corporation as far as I'm aware, but this is a special case with a bunch of lore reasons. They kind of thought that would go cleaner than it did, but it didn't. And I think that's everything. We're out of dice, so I apparently stopped at the end of last cycle again. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a sleep, and we'll see what the next cycle brings. We do still have a stabilizer in tow, and our condition is still stable. So we got 6 dice. They're not great dice today. It's 3 3s and 2 2s, which is a full house. So there's that. That's not a game I'm currently playing. It's not a game I particularly like. What do we want to do with this? So, in order to help Rico with her mushroom experiments, we need to clear out the overgrowth here in the aviary. That's going to take some time and manual effort. Oh, well, hang on. Let's go ahead and do our work stint in the commune real quick. We are currently staying at the Haifa commune, where as long as we show up for a round of work, we get fed and have a place to sleep, which is nice, honestly. I want to open up the Greenway today too, since we have the cipher for that, but I want to try and let's get up to the hub and go to the side rail dock and try and knock our way into uh, getting Lem on board the Sidrio. That did not go well. I'm gonna leave that alone until I have better dice, I think. Going into that with a 3 probably wasn't the best idea. Midline Freight Hub. Right, Rabia's office. So these are the jobs we can do for Yatagan, the local... They don't call themselves a gang. We can patrol the ward. Yatagan perform many roles, from protection to logistics and everything in between. You never know what you might have to face on a patrol. Or collect tithes. Yatagan operates on an in-kind basis, you are told, and tithes of goods or services must be collected in exchange for protection and administration. That sounds like a gang to me, but whatever. Fudufafa. We can fix up the derelict unit that we're trying to fix up. I've sort of let that project fall to the wayside now that we can just like sleep at the commune. But I do kind of want to finish it up anyway. Alright, before I decide what to do with these other 2 dice, let's go ahead and put our Greenway cipher in the Greenway and see how that goes for us. The cipher burns away as it is slotted, the data sparking like a lit touch paper. What has been unlocked? The Greenway roils beneath you like a silt-choked river. If what Navigator said was true, then no one has accessed these networks since the collapse. Hunter and killer protocols have never set foot here, never cleared out the intelligences and systems. So why then, you wonder, does it look so dark? Is it just that the bit rot has set in, the entropy of systems reducing everything to shadows and lights? You watch as the slotted cipher fizzles in the one open, distorted gateway on this entire rim of the station. It flickers and winks out, and then you are falling into the flow. A river of swirling darkness. You are spun by it, twisted by it, lost in it. It's not that the Greenway was hiding in the darkness. It is made of darkness. It is filled by this substance, this process, this swarm. Now you are among it, you notice that a swarm is exactly what it is, 1 billion individuals moving in a flow. There's no network map here, no nodes and threads, only a storm of interchangeable points shifting configuration endlessly. You see them, then, a figure turned away, the only bright spot in the dark river. You push closer through the storm. This is Gardener. Hi, Gardener, who takes the form of a massive tree sitting on a floating island surrounded by a waterfall of crystals. They are facing away, at least you think so. They're so fractured, so overgrown that it's hard to tell. Even from this distance, you can see their flesh is moving, flowing. You watch, silent, as they stoop and reach down. In their hand is a dark shape, and with the twisted fingers, they press it down into the loam of data beneath them, pushing it through this trembling soil. Then they move away, go a little further, and repeat the process, as if they were sowing a field. You push forward, but somehow, despite their slow and deliberate speed, they move faster, and they quickly fade into the storm. You reach the point where they planted the object and look down. There's a glassy, shifting polygon with something inside. You reach down and pick it up. It is cold, but it thrums with energy. You look towards the path of the figure, but they are long gone. When you blink out of the cloud back to the leaves and the dappled light of the greenway, you hold a seed in your hand. That is not a data, that is an item. Gardener's seed. You need to find somewhere safe to plant this gift. I don't know where I would do that right now. So we're going to leave that alone. When I was looking at the data, I also noticed that I had 5 Yadagun data. I was going to hand that to our data broker friend, Casser. They're not a friend. They're just interested in us. It's important to remember that those are 2 different things. But they were looking for Yadagun data and have the stabilizer for us as reward. So that's like 80 cryo in our pocket right there. I'd sort of expected that to pop up with a thing where we could talk to Castor after we've given him both of those data chunks, but I guess not. What else do we want to do? Let's make some money. Here's the scrap freighter. We can unload the containers. We'll use our 4 to do that, because that'll probably go well. Except we got a negative outcome from that. That sucks. Okay. And actually, let's not go back to the greenway just yet. Let's get a bowl of spicy from Memphis, so that we're not going to be starving when we wake up tomorrow. And we'll spend this last 2 in the farm stacks doing some work in the farm, because it's a safe action and can still pay all right if we get a neutral, which we did, 11. I imagine that we're going to, well, hang on. Let's start the day with our work assignment so that I don't forget. I imagine that working on Dr. Rico's thing in the aviary is going to give us the place we need to plant this seed we got. Kind of deal with that later. Let's take the 6 over here to the side rail dock so we can click that clock forward. Oh, hey, it's Castor. I didn't expect that. Quite the achievement, isn't she? Sandre Celis must be proud. You recognize the resonating voice of Castor immediately and turn to see him, hooded and tucked into the shadows near the viewing platform. Castor? So you remember our game. Good. He looks around, but the platform is clear. I'm afraid you'll have to wait for a rematch. Microgravity makes Talva a little difficult. He smiles broadly. Castor walks out to stand beside you on the platform. The telltale clunk of the magnetic boots accompanies his slow crossing. He notices you looking at them. I don't much like it up here, he explains. I hear there was some trouble at the Heavenage shipyard when they announced the results of the crew lottery. Yeah, they screwed us. I know. He sighs, meeting your eye. It's an ugly business. Celis are too used to the way things work in the core. Exploitation's the only logic they know. He gestures out at the sidereal. You know why they built this monstrosity on the eye? Uh, we can answer money or control. It's probably a bit of both. I would assume control. Certainly there's no corporate oversight out here, but that's not all. He stares at the pristine yellow hull. Celis built it here, said Castor gravely, because they didn't want anyone to know it exists. He rubs his forehead. And secrecy is something I cannot abide. He turns to face you. There are people being loaded onto that ship as we speak. Sleeping people locked in cryosleep like the person that you were emulated from. There's hundreds of them, and Celis wants to send them out to a planet, the edge of settled systems, without anyone knowing where it is. But you, Sleeper, can do something about that. You're like me. You deal with data. You can read it right out of the air. With someone like you on that ship, secrecy isn't a problem. You can ping back whatever I need whenever I need it, as long as you're on board. With you on the sidereal, and with some minor modifications, you can be my eyes and ears. I'll keep track of the Celis' grand project through you. Short, Castor says, stretching. I can get you aboard, Sleeper, but I'm going to need you to help me. Who are you, or what if I disagree? Who are you? I'm a concerned party, someone who likes to know what's happening when it is happening and not afterwards. It's not just me. Yeah, your friend Lem. That can be arranged. It's difficult, but not impossible. The condition is, of course, that you go too. Castor clunks closer to the window, watching the tugs wheeling around the sidereal. It's a simple offer, the only one that'll get you on that ship. Please consider it. He turns back, silhouetted against the ship. But to make it happen, I need your assistance, as I said. There's a Celis Foundation ship docked in the now empty shipyard. I need the data from its servers. This will allow me to produce the IDs necessary for your transit. Castor looks over his glasses at you. Celis aren't stupid. Their ship is totally isolated from the station, so you'll need to get on board if you want access to their air-walled servers. Once you have the data, meet me at your friend's unit so we can give him the good news. I noticed his importance to you, and the little one. She's real cute. You don't extract the data before the sidereal horizon leaves the hub, then I'll get the message. We have other options, but you're certainly my preferred one. But be sure when you act, Sleeper. Once you take the data from Celis, you'll set off a series of events that'll likely be hard for you to untangle yourself from. Either way, I recommend you stop asking around up here. You're bringing a lot of attention to yourself. There's only a handful of cycles until departure, Sleeper. Make your decision. With that, Castor marches back off the platform, the sound of his mag boots fading away, leaving you to contemplate the sidereal horizon and the part it may play in your future. The sidereal will be departing in 8 cycles. I did the thing. Can we talk to Lem about this? We can't. He doesn't appear to be around. Here's the Celis ship that we need to get onto. We need 6 clicks on the clock to get into it. We can do that by bluffing past security or observing and exploring. We can only bluff past security once. We can repeat observe and explore. But I don't want to do either of those with a 1 and a 3, which is the dice we have right now. do I want to do that? It would save me a lot of hassle dealing with everything that's on the ship. Or on the station, rather. Well, the sheer factor of the matter is I'm going to go through the, like... I'm going to go through those things. First of all, because it's the only way I can think of to get Lem onto the ship. And second, because I want to do... Like, this game has a lot of... Not a lot, but, like, a good handful of different endings. And I do want to show, like, all of them. And that is one of them. What the hell is that? Oh, that's the bar from... That's the flashing light from the bar. That we should be working at to cover Ethan's fucking debt. I really want there to be another option. Let's put in a shift at the bar and a shift at the farms. No, let's not do that. Let's put in a shift at the farms and then use that 3 to work on clearing away the overgrowth in the aviary. That didn't go well, but I got paid anyway. And let's clear this overgrowth. Hey, that went really well. Well, I have extra stabilizer, but that doesn't mean I can be all willy-nilly with what I have. Okay, first of all, let's do our work assignment at the commune. And we have a 6, 5, and a 2 to fuck around with. So I think let's use the 6 over here to bluff our way past security on the Celis, not Cialis, ship. That didn't give me as much bonus on that as I wanted to. Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's cross back to the Greenway, and we'll do a shift in the farm stacks, make a little money, and we'll put this 5, getting bumped to a 6 because we're +1. So we only need to do that one more time, and the aviary will be cleared out. Not bad dice today. We got a 6, a 5, and a 3, and a 2, but I just spent that for the for our work shift. Let's go ahead and finish this off and clear out the aviary. Oh, okay, neat. So, clearing it out has given us a new thing we can do there, which is germinate spores. If we have spores, we need to go get some. But if we have spores, we can just throw them in here, and we'll we can let them grow and see what happens as a result of that. Let's observe and explore the Celis ship. We only need one more of those. I could maybe use the 3 to get there. As long as I don't get a negative result. That's running a gamble, sure. Hey, the gamble didn't go well. Cross back to the Greenway. Have a sleep at the dorm. That tracker for the new bounty hunter is almost about half full, huh? That got away from me a little. I need to figure out a way to make that not a problem. Probably sooner rather than later. Well, theoretically, getting the hell off of the station would do that. But then, like, we're going to be going back and working on the timeline where we didn't do that. So I should probably, work off Ethan's debt, or find a way to get in contact with Feng so he can disable our tracker. Either way, let's go ahead and extract the Celis data. Oh, we got a whole bunch of cryo for doing that, too. I mean, might as well. You can only get so wet. And here is Castor. When you arrive at Lem and Mina's unit, Castor is already waiting outside, leaning beside the door. Forgive me, Sleeper, but Celis is already buzzing with news of the breach, as expecting you. I don't like you tracking me. Well, that's unfortunate, because that is exactly what I will be doing for the foreseeable future. Castor reaches into a pocket and produces a sleek green and white hand terminal. The data, please. Hand it over. You hand over a drive with the data, and Castor fishes around for a converter cable to hook it up. He slots it into the terminal, and after some whirring, a set of 2 transparent films marked with numeric sequences are produced. 2 tickets to an uncertain future. Castor smiles to himself. The child will go with Lem, of course. These are yours. But first, your side of the deal. What is it? Something to help us make use of you. He passes you the square, and you rest it in your palm, a small, white, perfect cube. Suddenly, you feel a sharp pain and flinch. The cube jumps from your hand and rattles along the walkway. You look at Castor apologetically. No, not to worry. It's done its job. Now for you to do yours. You look down and see a tiny pinprick in the center of your palm. There's nothing sinister. This way we can keep track of you and the sidereal horizon. Right, whatever you need to do. Excellent. Castor hands you the transparent films, and you see shimmering portraits of you and Lem flickering beneath the surface. Go, give him the good news. And he reaches across and buzzes the unit. Lem slides open the door, half dressed in his gear. Hey, Sleeper, what brings you here? Come in. He beckons you inside. You look to the side, expecting to see Castor, but the wall is empty. The unit is cleaner, better organized than last time. Lem sits at the thin bar and gestures for you to sit. Mina's with some of the local kids. Someone started doing lessons down the way. She seems to like it. Sit. You sit at the bar. What's up, Sleeper? Have some news. Out with it then. We can rethink things, or I have Celis IDs for us. You have... How? He blinks rapidly as if to wipe you from his vision. Does that mean we're leaving? Lem stands up and paces around the Union. We have to pack. Holy shit, we have to pack. He turns back to you, smiling. How the hell did you swing this, Sweeper? I made a deal. What a deal. Color me impressed. You show him the ID films and he whistles at the portraits. Impressive stuff. He pats you on the shoulder. You should stay until Mina gets home. We can tell her together. Sure. The buzzer goes. That'll be her. Lem gets up and opens the door, and Mina, a bundle of energy and life, rushes into the room. Robot, she shouts. Lem picks her up. Mina, you won't believe what they brought us. You flash her the passes, and she looks confused. We're going away after all, Meanie. He lifts her up above his head. That's probably what it should say, but it doesn't. He lifts her up above his head on that big, beautiful ship. Mina screams, and Lem laughs. He puts Mina down, and she runs over to you. She runs over to you and hugs your legs. I love you, robot, she says quietly, so only you can hear. Love you too. After a while later, when you leave, you don't even think to check for Castor by the door until it's too late. You stop and turn halfway down the walkway, but there's nothing there. Even the little white cube is gone. So you keep walking, back through the low end, deep in thought, excited and scared all at once. Foo. Why do I still have access to this? Okay. I'll deal with it later. I was suddenly struck by a memory. I forget the fucking name of it now, but there was a advertising agency when we were still living in Oklahoma City that had put its that had written its contact information incorrectly online. And the number that it wrote down wrong happened to be our cell phone number at the time. And as a result, every now and again, we would field calls for this ad agency, to which we usually responded, they got their own number wrong on their website, and you should probably choose an ad agency that doesn't do something like that. But also, because Google just like sweeps stuff and doesn't particularly give a shit, Google sent a message to our email inbox because it was connected to our cell phone number, because two-factor, saying, hey, are you the person who runs this company? Here's our Google business page for this company. You can set it up if you want. And so we did, mostly with that same message. You should probably choose an ad agency that doesn't get its own number wrong. That was fun for a little while. We would check back occasionally just to see whether or not, like, we tried to get in touch with that ad agency, but they never changed it. So every now and again, we would just, like, go over there and post a post to their, like, corporate bulletin board thing that they had. It's just like, why do we still have access to this? Let's grab some spores now that that's open. That's sort of risky to do with a 2, but let's do it anyway. I got some spores anyway. Let's just go ahead and stick them in the aviary, although I think we need 3 before that starts bearing fruit, so to speak. It's also time to take our meds, so let's go ahead and do that. And we'll end that cycle. Buh. Well, we got 6 dice again, but unfortunately it's 11141. Or 5 dice, rather. The maximum amount of dice. Wow, that sucks. We can't do shit with this. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do our work assignment, at the very least. And let's go to the mushroom groves and collect some spores with the 4 that we have. We need 1 more to make that go, but we're getting there. What, like, safe things can we do? Like, what can we do where we're not running a risk of, like, taking a hit to our condition? That's the export stuff. Working for Yatagan is risky. That just sort of makes sense when I say it out loud. We could just take 3 shifts in the farm stacks, I guess. There's nothing else really available to us that doesn't come with the opportunity to fuck up irrevocably. Or actually, I'll tell you what. Let's do more exploration here in the hub, because we have a +2 to the action that'll let us do that, which will take those ones up to 3s, which is almost reasonable to do. I mean, yeah, almost reasonable. That gives us a new place we can go check out. The Gimbal Lounge. It's another place where we can eat food. There's not a clock attached to it in any way, so I think I'm just gonna keep getting my food from the commune, because it's nice over there. We'll end that cycle and see if we can't get a better set of rolls for this one, so we can actually do some stuff. There we go. 63552. Let's go ahead and work our work assignment. Let's get some spores out of the mushroom groves. Hey, we got multiple that time. Okay, so having planted the fungal beds, the spores are currently growing. That'll be ready in 4 cycles. We'll see how that plays out for us. Crap. Let's go fucking work off that shithead Ethan's debt. We have like a whole bunch of 6s. We can do this relatively quickly. Do we get money for doing this, or does it just go to pay down the debt? It's a good question, one that I don't currently know the answer to. Let's find out. We do get paid, actually, in addition to working off Ethan's debt. Wow, a positive result only pulls 1 off of that clock. I was really hoping it would be more than 1. So we're going to have to dump a shitload of dice into this if we want Ethan at our back when Wayfair, or whatever the fuck they're called, comes around. In the meantime, let's do a bit of a sleep. And we don't need to do anything in the aviary or the groves. We could work at the farms for a moment. We could just throw all 5 of these dice into Ethan's fucking debt. I would rather not. But we're like good on money right now. Actually, that would still pay us, so that's doing 2 things at once. How long do we have before the side reel takes off? Let's go up to the hub and check. 2 more cycles, it looks like. Actually, while we're up here, let's explore the hub a little bit more. Ooh, we didn't finish out the clock, but we do have someone new to talk to. They're called Bliss. They're a ship mechanic. Who is, right, because the hub being in the center of the centrifuging space station is low gravity. And so Bliss is just sort of floating there with a buzz cut with just so many tools hanging off of their overalls. No way, Moritz. You take those substandard filters back to the shitheels to soldier them. You hear the voice echoing out of the bay as you pass, and moments later, someone who you assume is Moritz drifts out with it, dragging a pallet of filter cartridges by a tether. Hey, you out there! The same voice echoes out of the entrance. You looking for work? Yes? Hey, I just need a hand. Get in here. The voice is coming from someone shorter than you expected. She is floating in the microgravity of the docking bay beside a half-deconstructed life support unit that looks like it might have exploded at some point. She points a wrench in your direction. You know anything about these things? She doesn't wait for an answer. Scratch that. Just help me with the casing. Help her. All right then. She deftly moves around the unit, making space for you beside the central seam in the dented case. Just take a grip here and lift out and up, and then I can get in and unbolt it. She whacks the unit with the wrench. Whole thing's twisted to shit. You dig your fingers under the casing and lift it away, the metal squealing from the force. She puts her hands under, spinning the wrench to slip out the bolts, catching them in her other hand when they spiral free. All good. The casing lifts off, revealing the ornate piping of the unit's interior. She whistles at the mess of ducts and filters. Oh, by the way, everyone calls me Bliss? She pats you on the shoulder, offering little in the way of an explanation. What do you do here? Repairs, fit-ups, teardowns. Bliss starts pulling and pushing at the ductwork, looking for fractured pipes. We hackle for contracts, but the good ones get snapped up by the bigger bays, so here I am, trying to get this M2 unit running again for one of the freelance tugs. Small-time stuff. Hold this. She rips out a ribbed pipe and hands it to you like a freshly caught fish. We turn stuff around fast and neat, and maybe we get a chance at landing something bigger. Something starts hissing in the unit, and Bliss quietens it with a precise whack. But to be honest with you, the way things are going, I can already see the other crews licking their lips, ready to take this place over. She looks up at you. I'm almost out of luck. What happened? That's a long story. Some people just can't keep promises. She keeps working, twisting aside pipes with care. There we are. Bliss pulls her hands from deep inside the unit, and out it comes, clutching a lumpen cube scorched black. This thing must have overloaded and popped half of itself out the side. You both duck down to the side of the unit and spot the exit wound, its edges fringed with more scorch marks. Grab me a replacement converter from the racks, will you? Head to the rack. You kick off from the unit and drift over to the wall racks where a catalog of parts sits secured in clamps. Colored tape and scrawled notes flutter across the wall, a complex organizational system of Bliss's own design. Or just a big mess. You try to pick out the right part. We're given the choice of PC transformer, M2 converter, or F4 converter. How close were we paying attention? It was M2 converter. You grab the part and push back to the unit. Bliss holds out an arm and you pass it over, the converter spinning gently as it leaves your hand. Perfect, you passed. She straightens up from the unit. That is, if you want to work here. Bliss rubs her hands clean, looking down at her palms. The truth is, I need a hand here. My partner skipped out on me and left me with a whole mess. It seems like you might at least be better at spotting a clean air filter than Moritz. I'll consider it. Wait, she frowns at the racks. That's not all of it. My old business partner, they rinse the place, empty the accounts, to bid for jobs we need to put down deposits, bring in parts, pay tug fees, and for that, we need chits. You want me to pay to work? Come on, it's not like that. We'd be partners. Straight split. Bliss settles herself against the units and looks off into the distance. I guess I look pretty stupid. Here I am asking on any random passerby to be my business partner. No offense. No, I get it. Thanks, she meets your eye. I appreciate it. Bliss goes back to working on the unit. Look, it's no pressure. You find the money, or you find someone who has, or you just forget the whole thing. Up to you. She gestures for you to help her refit the casing, and you both slot it back into place. I think I'm good to wrap this one up for now, but if you're into it, come back and we can bid on a new contract. Something to get our teeth into. Something that pays. You can trust me. I don't say this kind of stuff lightly. You kick away from the bay, propelling yourself back to the handholds at the entrance. You slip out with a wave, and as you do, someone slips back in. You hear Bliss as you glide down the passageway. Moritz, I swear to God, if those filters aren't clean... You smile. It seems like this could be interesting. Woo! Bliss needs 100 cryo from us to be able to bid on a new project. We have that. And currently, stabilizer is cheap until, you know, we start really dealing with Rabina and the Yatagan folks. Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and do that. apparently that will be counted down in 3 cycles, and we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, let's go fucking back to the compressor club and work off Ethan's goddamn debt. We'll just put in 3 shifts real quick. We can do that with what we have pretty easily. It's a 6 and 2 5s. We get paid for doing it too, so... Well, apparently no. Apparently if we get a positive outcome, we get paid. If we get a neutral outcome, we don't get paid and also lose energy. That's the neutral outcome, but it still moves up the clock. Holy shit. I hate Ethan. That dude sucks. I'm mad that I'm doing this. We still have a 3. Oh shit, I forgot to... Thank goodness I didn't do all of those dice at the club, because I still need to do my assignment at the commune for the day. Here we go. And next cycle we're going to be back to having 4 dice instead of 5, which I'm not particularly a fan of. We'll see how it goes. Not terrible rolls. A 5, a 6, a 4, and a 1. Let's just go ahead and spend that 1 on our work assignment. What do we want to do with the 6, the 5, and the 4? Let's finish off doing our exploration of the hub. Oh, and doing that gives us access to, like, a capsule hotel. Which we can rent for 60 cryo a night, question mark? I don't know how long we would have access to that. Anyway, that doesn't particularly matter to us because we're doing most of our sleeping at the commune. Fuck. Let's get back to working off Ethan's debt. I don't know how much this motherfucker drinks that it's worth to date like 100 cryo in payment to us to work that debt off. It sort of feels like I should be able to just pay that money. Certainly the bartender would have sold that gun, right? I don't know what the weapons trade is like on a closed space station like this. But there's, like, ships coming in and out. There's, like, a whole gang thing happening. You could have gotten rid of that for some money. Cross to... Gateway. Go ahead and end this cycle. And I guess, I think the side reel is ready to leave. At the very least, Lem and Demina are over here. And they've changed out of their work gear into a big padded space thing, anti-grav suit. There is a crowd, but you spot Lem and Mina immediately as you enter the dock. They are waiting at the cordon where Celis security are checking the crew in to board the ship. Those that manage to get up to the hub are crowded near the entrance, but even they know their chance of getting on board is long gone. Lem! Lem spots you among the crowd. Sleeper, we're here. They are standing beside a bag which looks to carry all the possessions they have. It is small enough to be carried in one hand. You ready? Lem smiles nervously. I guess so. He hefts the bag. I hope they'll let us take this on board. Got our whole life in here. You hand over the Celis ID film to Lem, keeping your own. He turns it back and forth in the light. Where did your friend even get this picture, Sleeper? Looks like my old Conway ID. You look, and a shimmering younger Lem stares out of the film, harder and clean-cut. I spoke to the guard here. He nods to the white and green clad security officer. They'll be doing orientation and role assignment on the board. Sounds like we're going to be working under the core crew, kind of like an intern. What do you think, Meanie? Am I too old to be an intern? Following Lem's lead, you inspect your ID. As you lift the film up to the light, you see something strange. Something that makes you flinch. The face printed in the film is one you recognize immediately, but it is not you. At least, it's not how you look now. You squint at the ghost, confused why you hadn't noticed earlier. It is a picture that you remember being taken, a memory that you didn't know you had. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. You remember the SN-ARP employee who helped you in, her smile clean and surgical. You freeze in place, thinking of the you that still sleeps somewhere in an SN-ARP facility, that won't wake up until you are recovered and disposed of. And now that you're leaving, will they ever wake up? Sleeper? Lem interrupts your thoughts. These guys want us to board. You stare at him without thinking, then notice the guard gesturing you both to come forward. You all kick off and float over to them, steadying yourselves on the guardrail. You hang back, letting Lem present his ID film first. The guard slides it across a white machine, much like the one Castor printed them from. You reflexively rub the puncture mark on your hand, even though there's no trace of it now. It seems to be your destiny to be someone else's tool. Lem and Mina are waved through, the guard smiling at her excited face. Lem turns back to check you are coming. The guard beckons you closer. Wait or board? Again, I want to do a bunch of these endings, so let's board, and then we'll... If this takes us past the point of no return, we'll reload the save and it'll be fine. You shake off your doubts and hand over your ID film. The guard barely looks at it as they pass it through the scanner and wave you through. A new life, built from old things. You okay? Lem asked, concerned as you catch up with him. You're so slow, Wobot. Mina teases, grabbing at you with small hands. Just making sure. Lem nods, and you realize how much harder it must have been for him to cross that threshold. Mina struggles in his arms, trying to get to you, and Lem relents, struggling with both the bag and his daughter. Mina tumbles through the microgravity and grabs onto your clothes for purchase, pulling herself into your arms. You all proceed up the walkway, the entrance to the docking bridge yawning wide in above you. Are we family, Wobot? Mina asks as you move, taking you by surprise. I guess so. Mina smiles and presses her head against your chest, pleased by your answer. You keep moving, up into the docking bridge, then along that thin glass-walled connector, all the time Mina clutching onto you. The lack of gravity means you can't feel her weight, only the grip of her small hands on your clothes. You both stare wide-eyed at the vast hull of the sidereal horizon, and try to think of this huge machine as a home. Later, when you settle in your bunk, after Mina has finished running back and forth between you and Lem with an endless and infectious excitement, you find yourself looking at your ID film once more. Somehow, since the last time you looked at it, the image seems to have changed. It is still a picture of the old you, the person that signed up to have their consciousness copied and placed into the ownership of SNARP. But something else has crept into the image, an underlying sense of self-identification. This is also a picture of you now. The you that survived the eye, that made friends here, that found a way out, that escaped against all odds. The other you might never wake up, they might never live again, but so be it. They consigned you to a doomed life for their own gain. Their life is yours now. You will live it better than they ever could. You lie back on your bunk as the thrust of the side rail's vast engines kick in. This feeling, this rumble, will be your constant companion for the next decades. It will be there when you work, when you watch Mina grow, when you dream of the planet at the end of the journey. It will stay with you when your body starts to fail, despite the best attempts of Lem and Mina, as the years stack up and it exceeds its safe operating period by a decade. It will be the thing you wake up to in those rare moments of consciousness, between which Mina will keep you in a frozen state in the hopes of preserving you until your destination is reached. It will still be there when Mina wakes you, tears in her eyes, to tell you of Lem's inevitable death, and it will not relent despite your desire for a moment of silence. It will be the final thing you hear, as Mina shuts down all but the most vital of your functions, and hopes beyond hope that you make it to your final destination, all the while doubting that you will. But for now, in this moment of departure, it's still a new sound, a new feeling. And because of this, it is filled with the promise of the future. And so, you settle back on your bunk and close your eyes, and in moments you are sleeping a perfect, dreamless sleep, the most peaceful that you can ever remember. A jump over the age game, created, designed, and written by Gareth Damian Martin, with character art, music, and sound. I'm going to skip past the credits because we're going to get the opportunity to see them all later. As it is, I'm just going to jump back into this and not get on the ship. Castor's probably going to be mad about that. I'll figure that out, I suppose. Actually, do I want to do that whole thing and just choose to wait instead of going? Like, yeah. I'm just gonna skip through all of this text because it's the text we've just read. And we will wait and reconsider. You wait for a moment. You need to wait for a moment. This is all happening too fast, changing too much. There's so many questions you have, so many threads to catch hold of, and yet here you are, boarding a ship to who knows where on a journey that'll take decades. Is this really what you want? How will you even survive? You suddenly feel dizzy, unsettled. You can make out the concerned look on Lem's face as you hold back. The guard gestures again. Mina's eyes, looking back at you, are so bright in the starlight. Stay on the eye. You can't do it. You can't get on that ship. You turn away quickly, trying not to look at Lem, to look at Mina, to meet their eyes. You turn away and kick off hard from the guardrail. When you reach the far wall, you turn back. The scene continues in front of you as if nothing has changed. The next set of people are boarding. The crowds are still gathered at the cordon. The side rail horizon still blinks its yellow hull bright against the stars. And there are Lem and Mina, gliding up towards the docking bridge, bag in hand. Lem is facing away, focused on the steady climb, but Mina is in his arms and is facing back towards you. You watch her face, confused and sullen, but twinkling with a growing excitement as Lem carries her forward. As you watch Mina, you think about your future, about the future you might choose. You know one thing for certain, that future is on the eye. You no longer have any enthusiasm for being carried forward by the dreams of others, for grand futures that unfold like angelic wings across the horizon. The future is being made now, on this spinning ring, among its people and its systems. You are sure of that. But as you watch Mina disappear into the entrance of the sidereal horizon, and much later when you watch the ship pull away, you feel a sense of longing. A longing to be carried, not by the systems that spin the suns or the corporations that run the colonies, but by love towards an uncertain future, just as Mina was. That, you think, is the future you wish to make here on Erlin's Eye. And that kicks us back to the credits again. I am hoping that that doesn't mean that I'm going to have to... Oh, no. It did the credits, but it jumps us back to the thing. Here is Castor. Again, I can't imagine they're feeling great. Strange choice? Castor stands beside you at the rail, watching the pinpricks of light from the sidereal horizon's drives disappear. But perhaps not unexpected. You turn to look, and Castor is beaming at you with an unsettling warmth. Aren't you angry? About what? He squeezes your shoulder. I only wish for you to exercise that strong drive of yours. If it happens to align with my own, then that is pleasing to me. But if it does not, then I cannot punish you. What about the sidereal? Castor looks out to the stars. I will do my best to follow its progress. He pauses. Celis itself is of more concern. Cendre Celis is taking a step back from the public eye. It seems some internal struggles are playing out within their pristine halls, but I doubt core politics are of much concern to you. Castor moves down along the rail. The eye, though, that seems to be your primary concern. Am I right? I have unfinished business. He pats you on the back. Don't we all? It's the nature of life to leave things unfinished. I have more projects than I can count, so many games still to play and things to learn. May your future cycles be as fruitful as my own. Castor turns and starts to clunk away in his mag boots. I'll be keeping an eye on you, if you don't mind, sleeper. He waves as he walks. My curiosity remains piqued. Once he leaves, you stay a little longer at the rail, watching the stars. Imagining the look on Mina's face when she sees Celis 1 for the first time. Imagining the excitement when she first touches its soil. The joy when she first stands outside in the rain, laughing. Those images, though they will not happen for decades, are what will carry you through this cycle, and perhaps the next one too. Ah. No, there's the fucking AI dickheads. They haven't gotten the message yet. They're apparently not going to. Let's look in the aviary. That's almost done. I didn't do anything this cycle before doing that, so let's go ahead and do our work assignment real quick. And then I guess throw a bunch more dice into Ethan's damn thing. Fuck. We only need 4 more clicks on this clock. I can do that. I'll just do 2 now. I'll save this 6 that I have to do something more interesting. What do I want to do with this? Have I done all the exploration I can do in the green belt or greenway? Yeah. That's all that stuff. Everything else is like waiting for clocks to tick down. So let's go ahead and we'll spend this last 6 over here at our derelict unit and get that fixed up a little bit more. Because again, I do want to finish that up. Where are we at time-wise? Yeah, got a little bit longer. Go ahead and end that cycle. Literally, I don't know why huh? Oh, this is Moritz, the Bliss's assistant. They look young. They're in a hoodie and a kind of over jacket that I haven't seen before, covered in what I have to assume are corporate decals. Hey, a quiet voice greets you as you leave. Sleeper, it's me. I know you? Moritz, I work for Bliss? He rubs the back of his head. You're not an easy person to find. Yeah, I don't really have an address. Moritz holds up his hands. Hey, no judgment. It's cool. You both stand there for a moment, each waiting for the other to speak. So? Oh, yeah, Bliss needs you? A job just came in, a real big one. She's asking for you to come up and help her out. He nods sagely. Yeah, I'll be right there. Nice, yeah. Moritz stand there for a little while, unsure if the message is delivered. I've got it. Cool. He looks around. Bliss just likes me to do a thorough job, you know? He rubs his hands together before burying them in his jacket pockets. I'll see you, Sleeper. Moritz ambles off down the corridor, kicking at a filter cap on his way out. Time to head to Bliss's Bay, then. Which, yes, but first... let's do our shift at the commune. And let's fucking finish paying off Ethan's debt, and then we'll go see Bliss. Here's fucking Ethan again. They are never gonna release my debt, the shits. Ethan kicks at a locker and the sound rattles loudly around the room. Ethan paces around the small room, swearing to himself. You watch him from the locker room bench. Calm down, they'll do it. Ethan laughs. There's no way. He spits on the floor, an old habit. They like having sniveling little shits like us to work their club. Saves on the overheads and they get to boss us around. He kicks the locker again and swears. What did they say? Some shit about getting back to me. I swear to God, these are the most straight-edge gangsters I've ever seen. He laughs at his own joke. I can't do it. I can't spend another shift stopping spacers, bringing nail guns into the club, or pouring endless shots of Griol for ignorant Havenage work crews. He looks at the locker again, threatening it with a final kick. I mean it. I'm gonna go up there and shoot every single one of those shits. He makes a finger gun. Hold on. Don't get all excited. I ain't got my gun, remember? But you know, Sleeper, that's not a bad idea you have there. I did not have an idea. He ignores you. I don't mean shooting up the place. I mean getting the gun. He sits beside you on the bench. Think about it. What am I supposed to do when Maywick gets here? Shout him down? I need that gun if you want me to keep up my end of the deal. Simple. An explosive personality for a distraction at the front. He places a hand on his own chest. And a sneaky sleeper to go in the back. He pats your chest. It is stupid. Stupid enough. Simple plans are the best. If they don't notice us take the gun, they'll never know it's gone. Plus, he stands up, after my distraction, they'll be happy to see the back of me. Or they'll want you dead even more. Either works. At least I'd never have to see the inside of this shithole again. He gives the locker one last kick for good luck. Let me know when you want to do this. Then we both move as one and we meet up in the Bright Market after. Don't take too long, or I really will shoot this place up. You know I'll do it. God, you suck. You know where the lockup is, and Ethan's gun has been there since the bartender took it. Time to take it back. It is one critical action. We can't re-roll it, but we have a 6 available to us, so let's do this bad idea, Ethan. The gun tucked safely into a pocket, you work your way down the stairs that lead up to the office. A doorman passes and you exchange nods. Seems like you're in the clear. You hurry on, eager to get out of there before anyone spots anything. As you come down the main stairway into the front of the club, you see Ethan entering. He has a dark look in his eyes which troubles you. He's reaching into the pocket of his coat, slowly and carefully. You catch his eye and he raises an eyebrow. You shake your head. After a long pause, he nods and turns around, walking back out of the club. You exhale, not realizing you were holding your breath. And then you're out, without a single shout, without anyone noticing. You meet Ethan around the corner on a quiet Bright Market walkway. You have it? What were you doing back there? I was about to start a distraction, like we agreed. God, just show me. You lift it out of your pocket, and it is colder, heavier than you remembered. Ethan watches you take it out. Nice. Now, if you would. A memory jumps into your mind of Ethan in the compressor, hand out, asking for his gun back. A memory followed by the memory of a sharp, dizzying pain. You flinch. Wait. Ethan gestures again. Come on, hand it over. We can hand it over, we can just say no, or we can point the gun at Ethan. Literally nothing about the way you have acted causes me to believe that you are trustworthy in this situation. You have at every turn been an asshole. Ethan eagerly grabs it and looks down the sights. He sighs a sigh of relief. Then he meets your eye and slowly raises the gun until it is pointing directly at your head. This is not funny. God, you still don't get it, do you, Sleeper? Ethan spits. When they canceled that contract, I lost everything. My reputation, my payout, my way of getting off this shitty station, everything. All I had left was you. A naive little sleeper with a heart of gold. I couldn't believe it worked. And now, we're done. The contract is canceled. Yeah, no shit. Ethan steps back a little, taking himself out of arm's reach. He slides his slate out of his jacket pocket with his other hand. Now to call Maywick. Are you crazy? No, you're crazy, Sleeper, for thinking I'd kill one of my own for you. For what, helping me wash dishes? He laughs long and loud, and you hate him for it. He prods the slate. Done. He's here, you know, on the station. I've been speaking with him. He tells me we can split the contract, not 50-50, but enough of a finder's fee that I can get out of this shithole. He's lying. At this point, Sleeper, I'm not sure you're the one I'd trust to spot a lie. Ethan glances around. I have learned one thing from you, though, Sleeper, and all our cycles working in that shitty club. People never know when to cut and run. It's like they freeze in the headlights when the future's bearing down on them. They watch it coming, watch their death flying in at fraction drive speed. You had every chance, and yet you still kept on going, like some idiot robot going through the motions even when you knew you'd be crushed. Let me tell you something else. The shot enters through his upper back, and he crumples immediately to the ground. You drop too, without thinking, pressing yourself to the walkway floor like it might save you. Silence. Hey, here's Maywick. They look very professional. I question the tactical decision of like nautical camo on a space station. I don't think that actually does anything for you. It's very tactical, and so is your like vest with all the little pockets. You're also like what you're holding really looks like a long rifle, and I don't know if that's the sort of armament you need to be carrying in sort of tight alleyways like the low end is set up to be. Whatever. It's not like you're not an asshole. You look up and see him coming down the walkway, silent and eyes alight. Maywick. You freeze in fear. Here it comes. You see it, just by Ethan's crumpled body. The gun. Move. You can't. Move. You inch forward. Move. You go for it. You run forward and a shot sounds out. You feel it ripple over your back. Then your hands are on the gun and you scramble to your knees behind Ethan's body and fire. You close your eyes. You fire again and again and again until the clip is empty and all that is left are clicks. Then you drop the gun and stand up. You don't hear anyone running. You don't hear anything, just the sound of your own breath. You start walking, stepping over Ethan's static body, walking along the walkway and then past Maywick, his eyes now dark, some mechanical fluid leaking from his chest. Perhaps the same fluid that is inside you. You try not to think about it. You keep going, and the sound comes back. The eye comes back. And as it does, you hear the sound of thousands of people getting on with their lives. Thousands of people who are just going to keep going until they can't anymore. You look up and all you see are the wheeling stars. They're spinning and you're suddenly dizzy. The eye's always spun like this, hasn't it? And you don't stop walking. You keep going. That's all there is now, the path forward. SNARP have left you no history, no past to speak of. Just a void that threatens to swallow you if you slow down. You think of Ethan's smile, his voice, and feel sick. Is it over? You aren't sure it ever can be, but you're still here, and you can't stop now. There has to be a better end than this. Hey, that's an achievement I hadn't gotten before. It's called A Few Chits More. Watch a lifetime of bad decisions catch up with someone. Fuck you too. They've gone from stomping from upstairs to throwing shit at the window. Well, the Maywick clock is gone, so that's good. I don't know whether other things are going to pop up as a result of that, because apparently I've never done that before. In the meantime, let's go ahead and grab ourselves some sleep. Time to take our meds? No, not quite yet. Okay. You wake from dreams of Maywick's amber eyes floating in a pool of dark fluid. It was difficult to get sleep, and you suspect that isn't about to change anytime soon. Not after what happened. But you also feel something else as you get up, thumb the power stud of the stove, and begin to boil the water, like every morning. You feel something has lifted, something that has been hanging over you since you arrived on the station. You try not to think too hard about it, to question it. You just let that lightness stay, let it settle as you go through your routines. Your hope is if you don't focus on it, don't look at it directly, it won't get scared and leave you. That the lightness will stay for this cycle, and then another, and then another. Because after all that's happened, a little lightness would be nice. For you, let's work the work assignment. And how are the mushrooms doing? Are those... Yeah, those are ready. The fruiting bodies are appearing. Grioles are easy to find, but matsutake and other stranger types will require extra effort. Take your pick. So let's go ahead and harvest some mushrooms. Which we have. We got some matsutake caps and some club head caps. Strange, unidentified, club-shaped fruiting bodies. What all does Rico need for her thing? She needs some griot and matsutake caps. So let's go ahead and hand her some of those. That advanced her tracker rather a lot. And it's been a while since we've talked about it, but Emphas is still waiting for Griol, apparently, to make fricassee with. And I do want to do that. Come back to it later. What can I do with club head caps? You can export matsutake. No, let it go. Let's go ahead and pick up some more stabilizer while it's still cheap. I think we need to, like, actually do work for the Yadigan if we want to move forward Sabine's quest any. Oh, and I completely forgot that we needed to go talk to Bliss. Let's do that. Oh, all right. Somehow, Bliss swung a tanker contract, but the catch is that the work needs to be turned around fast. Too fast. We'd let a day go by without doing anything here, so that's not ideal. We need to seal the leaks. The tanker's crew have detected a set of leaks and they need to isolate and seal them as soon as possible. That's where you come in. We can do a full system flush once, which will presumably click that tracker up considerably. Or we can reclad the tank, which is repeatable. Let's go ahead and spend a 6 in the critical action. Oh, that went incredibly smoothly. And let's go ahead and spend our other 5 in this. Yeah, if we have another positive outcome, that'll finish that up. We can do that tomorrow when we get our dice back. Did I remember to do our work shift at the commune? I can't remember if I remembered to do the work shift at the commune. I guess we'll find out. At the moment, let's just end cycle. Shit, I was supposed to take my meds too. Damn it. Yeah, we only have 3 dice today. Let's go ahead and do that first. Fuck. Apparently they didn't kick us out immediately for not showing up, so let's do our work assignment. Or maybe I did remember to do it. It's impossible for me to tell at the moment. I'll go back and check the tape. And in the meantime, let's spend that 6 we now have to finish out Bliss's job. Because we had to pay 100 cryo to get that started. I presume the payouts are going to be, like, pretty good. As you both wait in the airlock for it to cycle back to the bay, Bliss thumps you on the arm. Nicely done, Sleeper. We cleared that contract, no problem. She stretches. Once we're back in the bay, we can check and see if the payment has come through and divided up. Ah, it feels good. The airlock clunks and the lights flicker, and a moment later you are back in the bay, where Moritz is at the racks trying to figure out where in the mess of tools Bliss left. I'm going to start that line from the top, because I confused myself in the middle of it. The airlock clunks and the lights flicker, and a moment later you're back in the bay, where Moritz is at the racks trying to figure out where the mess of tools Bliss left in her wake should be hung. Hey, Moritz. Moritz looks over his shoulder. Sleeper? He spins a wrench in his hand. Looked like clean work out there. He nods respectfully. You look over at Bliss, who is already gliding over to her management console. She twirls a little as she crosses the cavernous bay. No one you've ever met moves as well in zero-G as she does, like she was born into it. Shit! Bliss slams a fist in the console. Shit, shit, shit! What's up? I can't even... Come here. Bliss calls you over. Look at this. Just look. She spins the terminal screen and you see the detail for the bay's account. You see an entry for the Ember's Wake, You see an entry for the Ember's Wake, a repair fee paid in full the moment you finished up the job, but then directly after, the whole amount was transferred back out into an unknown account. What the hell? This is the work of my ex. She punches the terminal. He must have coded a backdoor into the machine before he left. She rubs her forehead. There's no way we can... Hey, Moritz, throw me that wrench. Are you going to fix it? Moritz spins the wrench across the bay. Bliss smiles. Yeah, something like that. Bliss brings the wrench down on the terminal hard. You flinch backwards as a hail of computer parts spill up into the bay in a glittering arc. Fragments of screen, memory, sections of the casing. When Bliss is done, she clips the wrench to her tool belt. Try backdooring your way into that, you shit. Moritz drifts out from his hiding place amongst the racks. Bliss, he says tentatively. You want me to... He looks at the arc of fragments drifting around the bay nervously. Bliss shakes her head. No, she sighs. I've got it. You could get me a new terminal, cheapest one you can find. Cobble one together from pieces at the ore exchange if you have to. Can I help? Bliss glides over to a panel by the wall. Don't worry, one of the first things I had installed when we spec'd out this place was a cleaning sweep. She flicks over a plastic cover on a huge red button. Watch yourself. She hammers the button and a row of laser emitters unfold from the bay wall. They start crawling their way across the work area, frying the debris as they do in pulses of burning light. Bliss smiles. It's that or space the whole bay every few cycles. You okay? Not really. She stares at the sweep panel. Just don't seem to be able to extricate myself from this shit, no matter how hard I try. The cleaning sweep buzzes and crackles as it works its way across the bay. That account wasn't everything. I'm not that stupid. Once Moritz gets back, I'll secure it and flush everything else. She flicks a nearby piece of debris into the path of the sweep. Clean break. Then we take another contract. That's it. She shuts off the sweep as it reaches the near end of the bay. You don't want the cryo back? Oh, I want it, but it's gone. He could have transferred it anywhere. She looks out across the hub. And if I even knew where he was, the last thing I want is to ever see him again. She rubs her forehead. I'm sorry, Sleeper. I know you worked for this too, but next time won't be the same. That's okay. She smiles. I'll see you in a few cycles. Moritz will let you know. She winks and kicks off into the bay to finish cleaning up. Iron Sheik fucking bullshit. .wave. Let's go ahead and move the Yadigan stuff forward now, I think. Let's go to Rabia's office, and we'll... these are both risky, and I only have a 4. I don't really care about that. That's fine. Let's collect tithes. It's not a protection racket. Negative outcome. Our condition went down, and the clock clicked up by 1. One merchant throws you out of the street, shouting about parasites. You look to the other enforcers, but it is unclear if she will face retribution. Cool, great and good. I'm gonna go ahead and pay for a bowl of spicy fungus real quick. Head to the dorm, and the cycle. And I think that makes it about time for a break. Wow, those are some shit-ass rolls. So, I am going to go on break. Before I do that, I want to take the opportunity to remind you that Black Lives Matter, that Indigenous lives and lands matter, the lives of people of color matter, that Palestinian, Ukrainian, Sudanese, Congolese, Iranian lives matter. There are many ways to be in solidarity with your fellow travelers upon this earth, and we like to push for direct mutual aid, as it helps people who are suffering right now suffer less. And people who are suffering less can stand shoulder to shoulder with us a little bit taller. Not the time. So on the break, I'm gonna go to my social media and look at the mutual aid hashtag and boost what needs I can there. I recommend that you take the opportunity to check out mutual aid initiatives in places you operate, both online and in meet space, because the only way we get out of this is through, and the only way we get through this is together. In the meantime, maybe do a stretch, grab a snack or some water, hit the restroom, do whatever self care is useful to you. I'll do the same. And I'll catch you back here in just a little bit. All right, I'm back. I don't know. Maybe next week, the preamble for all 5 days is just gonna be me one by one taking some of the more outrageous lies and just punting them into the sun. Oh, right, we have upgrade points we can use. Uh, we could get a +1 on our engage. Or we can, like, go ahead and get the last perk, the one for Intuit. Predictive reasoning, dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. I think at this point I would rather grab this +1. And we'll deal with the rest of it later. Our options for making money have become a little limited. We were making money working off Ethan's fucking debt. And I was sort of counting on the thing with Bliss to go through, but it didn't because of her terrible ex. So, let's go ahead and harvest some mushrooms, since we're right here. Two random rare mushrooms. More club head caps, which I don't know. I don't have a place to put those, so those are just gonna kind of chill where they are. We completed a drive doing that. What the hell drive did we complete doing that? I guess it doesn't matter. Well, hang on. Let's look at the secondary perks for each of these before I just go ahead and dump this into Intuit. Self-repair, use scrap components at home to repair condition. That might be nice, but we're not getting scrap on a regular basis anymore. Hard to kill, keep 2 dice even when your condition is breaking. We've been doing a pretty good job keeping our condition up, so that's not great. Obsessive Haggler, all cryo actions are discounted by 20%. That sounds very good. I'm going to hold on to the upgrade point I have and maybe think about that. What the hell do we do with these other 3s we have? Bliss is still waiting to bid on her next job. I guess let's move the Yadigan stuff forward. So, no, that's the Orb Fabricator. There's Rabia's office. All right, well, with that +1 we got, we can move those 3s to 4s, which I think doesn't make a difference in terms of game mechanics, but it makes me feel better. Oh, a positive outcome, which still moves that Yadigan Insider clock forward 1 click. And beefing it brings down our condition, unfortunately. We'll figure that out. I want to... let's go to Rico's office now, or labs rather, now that we have a bunch of mushrooms we can hand to her. Here are some Matsutake samples and some Griol samples. That moves that forward a little bit. Still got a ways to go, but not a long ways. Oh, we need to put in more... Yeah, we need to put in more spores if we want to grow more mushrooms. That makes sense. We have 1 spores. You just need a little bit more. A little bit spore. We'll end that cycle and start a new one by doing our work assignment. That, I've just now realized, putting down, the... Clearing out the aviary didn't give us a place to plant this, gardener's seed that we have. Is that something we need to plant in cyberspace somewhere? Like, no, because it's not a piece of data, it's an item still. So presumably the place we need to plant it is somewhere here in the Greenway. We just don't have access to wherever that is yet. Maybe we get that by helping Rico out with her stuff. Which and to wit, let's go ahead and go back to the mushroom groves and collect some more spores. That should give us 2, which is enough to start another round of growing. Beautiful and wonderful. And for lack of anything else to do, you know, we haven't done anything to make money in a couple of days. Let's go ahead and take a shift at the bar. And then we will move forward the Yatagan stuff, because I don't think we get paid for that. Oh, we finished clicking up the good service clock at the bar, and so Tala, the owner of the bar, wants to talk to us. The Griol slides from the bottle into the lumpy recycled glass, a pale, gassy yellow under the overlook's grassy yellow, under the overlook's warm lights. The spacer nods and takes the drink, bringing it up to their face in both hands like an offering bowl. This is the good stuff. The stuff Tala says is aged in wooden casks, stored in some closed-off part of the old station among corroded wires and softly looping systems, though sometimes it's hard to tell if Tala's joking. Either way, you like pouring this stuff. It gets on your fingers, and if you rub them together, you can smell the mossy drink, cut through with aniseed, mushrooms, and wood as the alcohol evaporates. You like those who order it, too. The aged griot is kept beneath the bar, open to order only by those who know it's there, like the quiet spacer sitting at the bar right now. Watch the spacer. They're far enough away that you can freely watch them as you close the bottle and tuck it beneath the bar. You call them a spacer because they bear the hallmarks: pale, vac-suited, bird-boned, and hunched beneath the weight of the station's spin gravity. But the closer you look, the less you see a type. Pale eyes, almost gray, but kind. Delicate fingers that lightly drum the bar as if it was an instrument. A shock of black hair almost covering a forehead scar. Scars are something you've learned to value. They're what marks out your body from the hundreds, maybe thousands, who knows, of similar models rolled out of SNRP's biolabs. You find yourself rubbing one on your forearm, a rough little split, something that on the good days you might think of as a mark of defiance. Suddenly, you hear a heavy clunking at the door. It creaks open, and a huge cylindrical metal tank tumbles through, slamming into the floor. Shit! Tala breezes in from behind, a whirl of hair and bright eyes. Shit, shit, shit. Tala? Sleeper! She ducks behind the bar and comes over. Can you help me with this? You look at the huge metal tank suspiciously. How did you get that up here? Tala puts a hand on your hip. Are you going to help me or what? You come around to the bar and get to one side of the tank. Okay, on my count. 1, 2, 3. You both heave the tank up to standing. Somehow. You hold it in place, struggling to keep it steady. Tala? In the back, comes a voice from behind the tank. Somehow you manage to lug the huge thing into the back room, where you place it in one corner, dwarfing the rest of the contents in the cramped space. And as you do, you hear a crunch. You stand back and look at the expired rations oozing out from under the tank. Oh, shit. Tala looks at you apologetically. I know you liked those. That's okay. You push the crushed rations to one side. That's the end of that. Tala looks exhausted and rubs her shoulders. Francis, I swear to... Something up? Yes. She sighs. He was supposed to be back from Etienne's up in the Greenway by now, back with our griot. She leans against the tank. It seems like he's got lost again, or joined the Haifa commune. We need that griot. There's 4 other bars near here, and the spacers sure as hell don't come to the Overlook for the ambience. She looks through the open door to check if anyone can hear her. She knocks on the hollow tank. So, I'm taking matters into my own hands. She smiles. Welcome, sleeper, to the Overlook Distillery. You look around the dank back room. I mean, it needs some work. She picks at some paint flaking from the metal walls. Well, I might need some help, though. She shrugs. You up for it? Could be fun. Happy to help. Okay. She grabs you by the shoulders. I'm excited. She turns around and looks at the tank. I reckon we chop this thing in half. 1 half for fermentation, the other we turn into a still. We also need to gather the ingredients. She turns back and looks at you. You look like more of a chopper than a gatherer, so how about you build the still in the tub while I work on the rest? Oh, wait, Sleeper, I've got an idea. Tala is grinning now and is making you nervous. To make up for the rations, how about we put a kitchen in here, too? A kitchen? Yeah, I've always wanted to serve food. This is going to be great, she says to herself. You look at the dented tank in the bare room. At least she has vision. Tala nudges you out of the back room and closes the door. As you go back to the bar, you hear the banging and thumping again. The spacer finishes up their drink and nods in your direction as they leave. You can't quite tell if it's a gesture of sympathy or good luck. So much for a quiet shift. New drive discovered. This is really almost overflowing. Improve the Overlook. Tala wants to build a distillery in the back room of the Overlook. And Tala is someone it is hard to say no to. We can still take a shift at the bar. Or we can build the still. lot of other stuff on the go right now, and I think I want to... throw these dice into the... No, that's the Orc Fabricator. The Yatagan stuff. So, let's go ahead and do that. Now, we get scrap for doing this, so I guess we're paid a little bit. In that we can sell the scrap off at the Ord Exchange, which is not a small amount of money. Which is good, because we only have one stabilizer left. Actually, to that end, it's still cheap. At the... Huh? Oh, huh. This has been open the entire time, and I have not thought to use it. I'd forgotten that this place was called the Tambor. This is the tea house where we can play the high-stakes gambling or trade in our Heavenage data, which I was sort of against doing off the top. But we can also hand in the gum box that Feng gave us to try and make sure Feng's still okay. Let's do that. As you go to leave the Tambor tea house, a hand falls on your shoulder. Hey, it's Feng. They're dressed in a poncho that mostly hides their face, but they're still holding a big glowing slate. Sleeper, Feng hisses from behind you. How'd you find me? Hardin has your hardware. Don't worry about that. He has no idea what to do with it. Feng guides you down a set of stairs to one of the Tambor's lower levels. The tea house is all stacked with curved mezzanines, all connected by a central atrium. The levels are filled with makeshift booths and bars, and the conversation bounces busily off the metal walls. Feng sees you looking around. This place used to be a fuel tanker's main drum, hence the name. The tea house part is a bit of a misnomer, though. You can get anything the eye offers from this place, but real tea isn't exactly readily available. He picks a booth, itself fashioned from some old salvage tank or another, lined with spongy insulation foam, and collapses into it. He looks around furtively. I don't suppose you've seen any Heavenage types. They don't usually come out this far. Only you. Not anymore, I'm afraid. Suspended without appeal. Turns out Hardin has someone's ear. He grins. That doesn't bother me, though. It shows we hit a nerve back there. He picks a scrappy, hand-scrawled menu from the table and tosses it over. What are you drinking? Why are you so calm? You know any reason I shouldn't be? He leans in, suddenly concerned, but then waves the idea away. Hold that thought. Let's order first. Feng is right. The menu is ridiculous. There's at least 10 different infusions, most of which you can't make out, but the paper is dominated by an extensive complement of esoteric alcohols and cocktails. Black tea is listed, without a price, as a seasonal specialty. So, you ran into Hardin? Was he pissed? Feng doesn't wait for an answer. That snake is so self-righteous he might actually believe that Erlin would approve of his meritocratic bullshit. He taps on the table. If Heavenage was like it should be, it was founded to be, they would have shouted him down at any council meeting he dared to mention true citizens. He sighs. I guess his kind run the place now. A young woman with a vine tattoo snaking up her arm turns up at the booth, a slate in hand. Order? You skim the menu, your eyes glazing over. Time to pick something. Kelp infusion. She nods and notes it. And you, she begins, looking to Feng, but when she sees him, she suddenly stops. What the? Feng shrinks a little. You're supposed to be working. This is your shift. He grins sheepishly. You work here? Feng waves you to be quiet. Look, Jenna, let's just say this is my break. My friend here has been through a lot. Jenna looks between the two of you. Wave, nod, or cough. Let's go with wave. Feng doesn't look pleased. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, says Jenna, pointing at Feng, and only because I don't want to get dragged into whatever this is. She gestures at the table and walks off. What? Feng stretches out in the booth. You know how it is. We all have to eat. Plus, he leans in, this is the best place around here to find a person you might be looking for. Who? Remember that web of connections that Hardin pinged the moment we confronted him? Those are his collaborators. And if we want to understand what a Solheim executive might be getting up to on the Eye, those are the people we have to find. Feng is almost whispering now. There's a couple of them I suspect are in the low end, and, well, almost everyone in the low end comes through this place at one time or another. He brings a modified slate out onto the table. I've set this up so that when anyone with the network signature I'm looking for comes in close proximity, it'll mark them. Once they're marked, we can break through their access protocols and get at the good stuff inside. We just have to find them first. Hence, me moonlighting as a waiter. Suddenly, a smile grows across his face. Wait, I have an idea. What? Look, I can't cover enough of the low end on my own, and so far I've had no matches in this place. With the two of us, we can cover more ground. How? Well, Feng has a hangdog look. We need to get you out and about in the low end, in close proximity to as many people and residences as possible. And it turns out my friend Minji needs some help with deliveries. As in Minji Express, the noodle place we've been working at? Oh, you already know him. Perfect. Feng places a tiny receiver on the table. This connects to my slate and runs the same marking protocol if you get near any of our targets, so all you have to do is take some delivery shifts for old Minji, and soon enough we'll have the place covered. Feng. Don't give me that. You think I like working here? And I thought you could use the tips. We're in this together, right? Right. Okay then. Feng slips his slate back under his clothes. Just head on up to Minji Express, take a delivery shift, and we'll see what shakes up. You manage to find anyone and extract any data, you bring it right down here to me. They have me on double shifts, so I shouldn't be hard to find. Jenna walks past, carrying a tray of drinks, and sharply catches Feng's eye. I don't think she's bringing your drink. He stands. I think it's time we call this meeting to a close. You grab the receiver from the table and slip it into a pocket. See you soon, sleeper. Stay safe, Feng adds before turning and walking off towards the bar, whistling as he does. Okay, so we go back to Minji's noodle manufacturer, which we had been working with the noodle manufacturer because we get a +1 to endure. But now we have a +1 to engage, and we can go out on deliveries. We could have done that before, it's just the other one was the better option. And that has a clock attached to it now, where it didn't before. Feng's targets. You'll have to deliver noodles to half the low end before you can get a proper fix on Hardin's collaborators. There's 6 clicks attached to it, so... We're out of dice right now, so let's go, back to the commune to sleep. And we can start on that. Let's go ahead and do our work assignment at the commune real quick. The mushrooms are still growing. That'll take a while. We can check in on Bliss, but I don't think that clock will have finished up yet. Let's go ahead and do it anyway. No, that's what, 2 more cycles? No, just 1 more. How much are we, like, the pay's not the thing, moving the target clock forward is the thing. But it doesn't pay bad. Like, that's actually incredibly useful. We could probably just knock this whole clock out in one go. If we manage a positive outcome on this 5? Yeah, let's just do that. Make a pretty good chunk of money and get Feng on the move. Sleeper! You see Feng coming up the corridor as you step out of Minji's, the kelp noodle smell still clinging to your clothes. He comes up fast and stops close, looking around suspiciously. I don't have long. Take these. Feng palms you a couple of those metal, thumbnail-sized drives. Ripper worms. My slate has been buzzing like crazy. It seems your delivery shift have turned up our 2 targets. He squeezes your shoulder. Knew you could do it. And now we nail those snakes. What do we do? Hardin's boys are all connected by some kind of closed network. You break the access protocols on both of them, you should be able to gain the location of the nearest network ports. Slot the Ripper worms in those ports, 1 each, and they'll feed me anything and everything stored on Hardin's shadow network. I can't wait to see what juicy plans they have in there. You hear the scuff of boots as a group comes up the corridor, likely on their way to place an order with Minji. You turn for a second, and when you look back, Feng is already halfway down the corridor in the opposite direction. He raises a hand in farewell and is gone. You run your fingers over the tiny Ripper worm drives in your pocket and smile to yourself as you wonder how mad Jenna will be at Feng for this little excursion. Time to slot some worms. We'll do that next cycle. I think I want to take this one to help out at the Overlook. Yeah, let's try and help build this still real quick. We only have a 3 to work with, but it's fine. Came up neutral. Oh, we got a random piece of scrap. Well, that's worth. Let's go ahead and sell that off real quick. Should I grab another stabilizer? No, not quite yet. Like, I don't need money for anything currently. Like, I'm getting my energy back at the commune, because they feed you on your work shift, so I don't have to worry about buying food mostly. The stabilizer is, we have enough to be staying ahead of that for a while, though I'm going to need some more eventually. What do they need here in the climbing briar? You need griots, which I don't have access to, and I want to help out Rico and them first anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and take our sleep real quick and start next cycle, and we can slot those Ripper worms, presumably, if we have the right dice. Although we have our +2 to engage now, so, okay. Oh, okay. Sleeper. Moritz is waiting for you on your way out. How have you been? Surviving. Yeah, that's the struggle. He glances around. He runs his hand through his hair. I've been meaning to ask you, Sleeper, what's it like? He pauses, suddenly unsure. I mean, you know, what does it feel like? To be a sleeper? Yeah, if you don't mind. It's hard, it's strange, I'm getting used to it. It's strange. Yeah, I know I can't understand it, you know, with your frame and, well, everything else, but I wanted to say I have a lot of sympathy for it. Like having to find a place, having to survive, having no future. A lot of people around here understand that. Moritz looks away, and you notice him for the first time, not just as Bliss's assistant, but as someone with their own worries, their own struggles, their own life. You feel bad for not noticing earlier. Moritz looks back at you. Anyway, I've got a message for you. Bliss sent me down. We've scored another contract, and she needs your help. That's the message. He pauses. Look, I know last time the payment didn't come through, but you did good work. Bliss knows that. Yeah, it's no problem. Okay, then. He pauses again. She's doing her best, you know? I know. He nods. I'll see you up there. Moritz turns and strides off, leaving you in the corridor. Time to help Bliss, and maybe this time, you think to yourself, it'll work out. We have crap shit dice. We have 3 1s and a 2. Fortunately, that's probably fine. Because we're going to be using these to fuck up Hardin's agents. Is that what I'm doing in cyberspace, or do I need to slot these in a physical location? It doesn't look like it. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Nope, that's Yadigan. Hardin agents. Let's throw a 2 in there. And bypass and extract data. Port unlocked. So presumably that... Oh, here it is. And we slot the Ripper Worm in there and let it do its dark work. Also, it feels nice to be able to just sort of fuck around in here and not have to worry about Hunter coming for us. Alright, we have also extracted that data, and we'll slot our other Ripper Worm. And that lets us talk to Feng again. As you walk into the tambour, you quickly spot Feng arguing with Jenna. Keep your distance or approach. Let's keep our distance and let them fight it out. It doesn't look good. Feng seems to be explaining something, but Jenna is having none of it. She points to the door, and Feng walks away, catching your eye as he turns. Could have done with you getting here a minute or so ago. He glances back at Jenna. Either way, it looks like I'm fired. The good news is that it doesn't look like I need the job anyway. He takes out his slate, pulsing with pale light. Now, let's take a look at what you're really here for. The slate is a whirring mess of code streams coming direct from the Ripper Worm as they dig through the agent's data and spin it into threads for the slate to pick up. Anything good? Feng scrolls the display with a finger. A lot of junk, a lot of dull-as-hell message threads, a lot of tedious data caches, but... Feng's eyes flash. Definitely some good stuff. He stops the screen, scrolling on an entry, and expands it. Check this out. Feng shows you the screen. You see a bold corporate logo, not Solheim's, and a word below. Conway. He's working with Conway. Conway Extractions, right? Feng nods. He's been speaking with them personally. Got a whole chain of messages here, but it's mostly encrypted or redacted. He rubs his head. Damn, this is juicy, but we can't nail him with it. Wait. What's this? A wasteland reclamation facility. Right here on the eye. He glances at you. What's the bet that this place is tucked into the wastes? Conway are set up here? I'm guessing so. Got themselves set up in the wastes. Back before the collapse, people would have got there by going down the connected spoke from the hub, but the spoke's broken now, so the only way is the long way, around the rim, past the greenway. He shows you on his slate. Feng looks away, thinking. Conway had been making moves on this system since the collapse. I heard they took over one of the Solheim's old belt colonies a while ago, moved everyone out and reclaimed the whole rock. Why work with Hardin? Access? Old connections? Not sure. But if Hardin's involved, then we need to check it out. Simple as that. So, what's next? We have to get into that facility. The answer to whatever Hardin has been prepping, been planning, there has to be there. And we're going to catch him in the act. Give me 5, maybe 6 cycles, and then I'll see you on the Greenway. I seem to remember there's some old service docks on the outer shell, up by the Haifa building. It should be a good place to meet. Feng squeezes your shoulder. Thanks again, Sleeper, for sticking with us. I haven't forgotten about that tracker of yours either, but I'm going to need to be back in my bay to pull a solution together. He turns the slate around to face you, showing a mass of scrolling code. I've been working on a fix in my breaks. Feng grins. I'll see you soon, Sleeper. And he walks out of the door of the tambour without looking back. A 2 upgrade points from that. Oh no, it would be 1 upgrade because we didn't buy the other one. Let's like, we have a lot of money, so the haggling thing isn't that terribly useful. And I could use these 2 upgrade points to just get a +1 into it, and then we have a +1 at least in everything. And I think that feels very good, so let's do that. Especially if I keep getting fucking rolls like this, I have 2 1s to work with. I think I'm just going to take a couple of, Oh, I haven't done my shift at the commune either, so let's go ahead and do that. And then I'll probably do a... work shift in the farm stacks? No, working in the mushroom groves is technically risky. Yeah, let's just do a shift in the farm stacks, even though that's not going to go great. Yeah, it went fine. What the hell is this? Oh, this is Feng's latest tracker. Yeah, that's 6 cycles. So we'll come back to that. Let's do our sleep. Do our stint in the commune before I forget. And what do we want to do with our clocks in the meantime? Oh, we need to go help Bliss on her thing. So let's go ahead and do that. The fuck? Pardon? Who are you? The Sycamore Seed, a Haifa farm freighter. Oh, this is Bliss's new thing. That looks complicated as hell. We didn't really get a lead into this, so apparently it's a farm biome on a ship that is failing. We are meant to save the crop that's on here as much as possible. There's not a cycle clock on it, so we can take as long as we want. So I think let's make sure to do careful work here instead of fast work. But we have like a 6 and a 5 to work with, so let's do that. Oh, doing anything clicks up the fragile biome thing, not just negatives. Yeah, but the saving the crop thing will absolutely outpace the fragile biome thing as long as we keep getting positive outcomes instead of negative ones. So that's cool. I'm going to leave those there and not risk one of my 3s to fuck that up. What do I want to spend this on? The Yadigan stuff. I continually dislike doing this. Just for fun, because we haven't done this one yet, let's do Patrol the Ward and be fake cops. It makes me feel so much joy. You help a destitute man to the Tambour's kitchens where they feed him freely. You stay behind with the chefs and sample the dishes. Okay. As you say your goodbyes to the other enforcers and walk back through the low end, a chirruping catches your attention. In a quiet corridor, away from the main thoroughfares, someone has stuck a small recorder to the wall with soot sealant tape. Written across the fluorescent tape is one word: sleeper. You peel it away from the wall, and as you do, it triggers some kind of improvised trip switch. Sleeper, Sabine's voice crackles through. I've seen you with the Yadigan members. Are they holding you captive now, too? A high whine. I am sorry if I've dragged you into this. Do not trust them. Something is happening within the gang, some kind of power struggle. You cover the speaker a little, their voice too loud in the quiet corridor. I will come soon. Thanks to your efforts, I've located most of their properties. At the right time, a pause. I'll see you soon. Don't give up. Remember our deal. The recording cuts out. You stare at the recorder, processing what you've just heard. Hearing Sabine's voice again opens up something inside of you. An Essen ARP employee. Do they know that I know? You struggle with a mix of concern and distrust. You throw the recorder into a nearby waste chute as you leave the corridor, still unsure who to trust, and head quietly out of the low end. Cool. Glad to hear from Sabine again. Glad that I don't have to keep punching through the Yadigan stuff. We have time for one more cycle. Let's go ahead and do that. A whole bunch of stuff will click forward, I think. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our shift in the commune. And then we have 3 5s to work with. The aviary is ready. So let's go ahead and harvest some mushrooms as well. Matsutake and more club head caps, which I'm not entirely certain we need still, but let's go ahead and hand the Matsutake over. We still need one more click on that clock and come back to it. And let's see if we can finish off Bliss's new project with these. I think not. I think we're a little bit too... I think we're going to need a little bit more to do that. Yeah, so our predictive reasoning perk, which we just got, now gives us the exact outcomes of a positive or neutral result. And a positive result here on reinforcing the bulkheads is going to give us +2 on the saving the crop clock. But we need 5. So even using both of these, we're not going to be able to finish it out all the way. But it's going to get us very close. And in fact, because that went so fast, let's do one more cycle. Phew, that sucks, but it's fine. It's 3 2s and a 6. Let's go ahead and do our work assignment, first of all. And then that 6 will absolutely put us over the edge for the... bulkhead job. You and Bliss are floating in the bay's airlock, waiting for it to cycle. You pick a few leaves from your clothes as you wait. They float around the chamber as if carried by a lazy wind. Clean work. Bliss bows a little. Well, thank you, Sleeper. You didn't do too bad yourself. She checks her tool belt. Seems like we're getting into a good rhythm. The now familiar sequence of clunks and rattles sound out, and then the door hisses open. The moment it does, you know something has, once again, gone wrong. What's all this? Bliss asks a confused-looking Moritz. Beside him are a set of crates anchored to the bay floor. He has clearly just brought them in through the bay's freight lock. Moritz looks nervously between the two of you before answering. It's payment. He runs a hand along the crate. The Sycamore Seed crew just brought them over. He stops, seeing the look on Bliss's face. They were very thankful. I bet they were. What the hell is inside? Moritz leans over and struggles with the catches on each side of the top of the crate. As he does, Bliss turns to you. Don't say it. Bliss stares into space. Don't you dare say it. Say what? You know. She looks back at you. This isn't my fault. Moritz finally gets the catches free and the lid floats off, drifting up into the bay. As it does, a small brown lump floats up with it. Moritz reaches out and catches it as it passes him. Is that It's a mushroom. It's a damn mushroom. They paid us in mushrooms. Not just mushrooms. He holds out a clump of tightly packed leaves. Produce. Bliss starts laughing. Goddamn Haifa commune. Should have known they didn't have a chit to rub between them. She knocks a small brown mushroom across the bay. Stop, Bliss. Moritz grabs her hand. These are good. Fresh. We can sell them. To who, Moritz? Are we running a grocer's now? We need cryo, otherwise the whole bay will be shut down. We can't pay for parts in leafy greens. She waggles them in Moritz's face. I can use them. Blitz raises an eyebrow. What, 4 whole crates? Even you can't be that hungry. You can take a few, but the rest will sell. She smiles to herself. Or at least Moritz will sell them, if he's so eager. Moritz closes up the crates and starts moving them. It isn't that bad, Bliss. It's a step in the right direction. He glances at you, looking for backup. They'll sell well. Bliss sighs. Looks like I went into business with a couple of wannabe farmers. She laughs. Prove me wrong, then. Show me this is a windfall. She kicks away towards the new patched-together terminal. Until then, I'll be working on how to keep this place open. Moritz mouths a thank you and goes back to moving the crates. You better be on your way, too. So, Liz is working on getting a new job. In the meantime, we have 3 Griol caps. Which, I know exactly where I want to take those. Over here to Emphas. And finally be able to let Emphas make his fricassee. Emphas wanted to make this old recipe. He'll need 3 handfuls of Griol caps, fresh and firm. It will take a while before those are prepared. So let's see what else we can do. We got a couple of fucking 2s. Let's build the still, or try to. Move that forward a little bit. And let's work on our housing unit, which also went okay. Sorry, brain went off on a little excursion for a moment. That's gonna be the stream for the evening. When we come back, we'll get more into Bliss's misadventures, I guess. We'll see if Sabine manages to find their way back. Work with Feng on whatever the fuck Feng has managed to get themselves deeply into. There's still a lot going on. Here's the thing about the whole game, is that it's continually a lot going on all the time. But that's a tomorrow problem. For tonight, I'm gonna touch a computer a little bit and then get some rest. In the meantime, I've been September of the Free Association, and I want to let you know that I love you. Keep yourself safe. Find something to do and do it. Catch you later. No. What? I take sort of a slumped posture when I'm actually playing the video game, so leaning forward to get to the stream deck to hit the off button. It's a little bit of a wah situation.